Growing up in the 80s, my mom got me the best babysitter money could buy. Jedi Master Yoda. Watching Star Wars made me feel like I was training alongside Luke Skywalker, learning the ways of the Force, meeting diverse groups, and fighting the totalitarian regime of the dark side. What I didn't know then was that the wisdom Yoda was teaching me wasn't just for a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yoda was laying down 5 Jedi mind tricks that would become the foundation for my future career as a diversity, equity, and inclusion practitioner. In The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker learns that he needs to go to the Dagobah system to find Jedi Master Yoda to continue his training. So Luke flies an X-Wing starfighter and proceeds to crash land it in a swamp. No worries, he's the chosen one, and a white guy, so he's fine. Luke is also in luck. There's someone right there ready to assist him in his quest. Luke tells the little green fellow, "I'm looking for someone." To which the guy responds, "Looking? Found someone you have, I would say. Help you I can." But then Luke says, "I don't think so. I'm looking for a great warrior." Luke has no clue he's already talking to Jedi Master Yoda. Instead, Luke sees a little, old, green alien with seemingly backward sentence structure. One look and Luke is like, "Okay, boomer." Raise your hand if you've ever been underestimated for no other reason than the body you happen to arrive on this earth in. Yep, that's most of us. We tend to make choices because someone looks the part. These choices could be small, like who we choose to sit next to, or much larger, like who we choose to date, or who to hire. But ultimately, we judge a book by its cover and then wonder why we don't like the plot line. Or, in Master Yoda's words, "Judge me by my size, do you?" This was Jedi mind trick number 1. So stop doing that. Okay, so despite the fact that Luke totally bombs this interview, he is the chosen one. So Master Yoda reluctantly trains him, and train him he does. Master Yoda has Luke upside down, balancing on one hand, with Yoda up on one of his feet, telling him to stack rocks with his mind. And he does. He stacks rock on top of rock. But later, Luke is asked to get that X-Wing fighter out of the swamp. The ship budges, but not much. Luke says, "Moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different." Master Yoda responds with Jedi mind trick number 2. No, not different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned. This is one of the most fundamental keys to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I know what you've heard about diversity, equity, and inclusion, that it's against white men. The DEI wants us to hire people based on demographics instead of skills and experience, but that's not actually DEI at all. The basis of diversity, equity, and inclusion is that we need to unlearn to unlock our potential. But like Luke, we're seeing that stone and that spaceship as 2 different things. But in this galaxy, we're not talking about objects. We're talking about people. Think to yourself for a moment. Do you believe that people deserve equal pay for equal work? Yes. Should students be able to learn about successful people who both do and don't look like them? Should every skilled person have a fair shot at getting the job? If you thought yes to any one of these, then you believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion too. And to get to those goals, we need to unlearn what we have learned. But our brain likes categories. This organization protects us from danger and sorts all that information coming in so we can get through our day. The problem is that the dark side is playing their mind tricks on our unconscious minds, and it's affecting our decision making. Dr. Martha Lowson found that only 35% of female characters in film have speaking roles. If the dark side limits us from hearing women speak, we forget to listen. In 2018, the NYU Metro Center found that only 3 of the 42 resources that Scholastic listed were written by women of color. If the dark side prevents us from seeing successful people of color, we forget that people of color are skilled. Nielsen Ad Intel found that only 1% of primetime TV ads feature a person with a disability. If the dark side prevents us from knowing that over a quarter of people in the United States have a disability, we see them as incapable. GLAAD found that of the characters in 2024, only 5% of those in film were transgender. If the dark side prevents us from seeing representations of transgender people, we forget that they deserve respect too. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not biased. I didn't make those decisions. It's not me. But even I fall victim to the dark side sometimes. My son loves superheroes. He's a chip off the old block. But it was a long time before I realized that all the action figures I had gotten him were male, and most of them were white. Good thing Target had Wonder Woman and Gamora. This thinking doesn't make us bad people. It just means we all have work to do to unlearn, and unlearning unlocks the Force. So the third Jedi mind trick comes when the spaceship is lifted out of the swamp. No, Luke never accomplished this. It was Yoda. Yoda takes a deep breath and turns his mind internally, as we all do when someone we are teaching isn't listening to the gems we are dropping. Lifts the ship out of the swamp, glides it over to the shore, and gently sets it down. All with his mind, people. Luke has a moment of vulnerability and admits, I don't believe it. To which Yoda responds, that is why you fail. Businesses who do not have diversity initiatives do not perform as well as those that do. McKinsey, the consulting giant, has been conducting studies on diversity and leadership since 2015. Comparing those 4 reports all over time shows that for those companies who do and do not have diversity in their executive team, that financial performance gap is getting wider and wider and wider. DEI is good for business. And many companies who aren't committed are lagging behind their competitors. Study after study from various outlets show that DEI yields greater innovation, better collaboration, more productivity, and increased staff satisfaction and retention. Customers also prefer to buy from a company that's taking action on DEI. As Luke continues to struggle, Master Yoda drops his 4th Jedi mind trick and most famous line, do or do not, there is no try. As we develop our DEI strategies, we need to focus on the do, the action behind the initiative. A diverse staff does not yield a positive work environment. Jedi mind tricks are instructions. It is our actions that make the difference. This means we can't leave DEI to symbolic events during Heritage Months. For diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts to be successful, we need to change those policies and practices that lead to barriers in advancement. A Black executive director at JP Chase wasn't promoted because he lacked the platform. The CEO asked, what the heck does that mean? He had never heard of platform being used in anybody's evaluation but this Black employee. To prevent qualified staff from leaving again, the bank now tracks upward mobility. This means that we also need education to detect the bias within us. Yes, that means unconscious bias workshops are essential. Sorry. But let's put those workshops in perspective. No one can undo 30 plus years of daily messages from that bias-promoting dark side in 90 minutes. Workshops are designed to increase awareness and educate. Hey, I could read up on how to conduct a surgery and take a 90-minute class, but it'd be a bad idea to let me operate, right? Every surgeon started with a class. There's still a need for further education and personal study. With effort, we can get there. Master Yoda left me with one final Jedi mind trick as he helped Luke overcome self-doubt in his training. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. I'm going to say that again because we all deserve to hear that over and over in our lives. Luminous beings are we. You are not put on this earth to shrink. You are here to shine. Think of all the people you pass by today who don't look like you. They shine too. We deserve to feel welcome in our environments. We deserve to be heard. We all deserve this. So go forth and be luminous and work on making equitable spaces for others to be luminous too. And if you want to rebrand DEI to do so, then do it. Just call us practitioners, the Jedi that we are. And may the Force be with you. Thank you.